She's a youngster, she's got so much talent, but she needs players around her as well to be playing that role, doing the job, supporting players in that final third of the field.
Sam Kerr, she's the star of this side, but they are all stars, though, Andy Harper, in their own right. Caitlin Ford, Courtney Vine come in on the wings. Can we see some extra added spark? Can we see the goal fest tonight?
Well, I think so, and their team tacks well. It takes pressure off the defence, which has been a focal talking point for so long now with the Matildas. But we can take a lot of pressure off the girls who are lining up across the back four if the team going forward does the job we need them to do.
Well, bring it on. It is time for the football to do the talking. We are off to a short break, but do not go anywhere. On the other side, kick-off between the Matildas and Canada.
On the 20th of July 2023, the eyes of the world will descend on Sydney, Australia, and this brand new Allianz Stadium for the opening match of the Women's World Cup. And the Matildas will be front and centre. 10 months before that, and this evening we have all the promise of that tantalising evening. And the pressure is on Australia's favourite sporting national side, and in particular its coach, Tony Gustafsson, who has promised the Matildas will rediscover their Aussie DNA, their never-say-die spirit. He says his side want to inspire. Well, after Canada won the first meeting between these two sides in Brisbane on Saturday, this evening, in front of their adoring fans, the Matildas can inspire and be inspired in equal measure as they look for a first win over the Olympic gold medalists Canada on home soil since 2008.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be
It's a wonderful setting.
It is now time to turn your attention to a very special welcome
This
to country
wonderful stadium
to be
on
performed by
Gadigal
the
land.
Darryl Aurora Knowledge
Here
Keeper
is our welcome
and Sydney
to country.
traditional owner, Shannon Foster.
Budjuri Newing, everybody. And Wadeo Galamban Gurad, welcome to this sacred country. I'm Shannon Foster, a Darrawal Eora woman, and I'm here on behalf of my family to welcome you all to this beautiful sacred country. It is on this country that we celebrate fresh water and women's law and the warriors and the women who came before us. And tonight, I draw on the guidance and protection of all the women who came before me to guide and to protect the players here tonight. And I'd like to take this chance to thank all of the women who support these amazing players. All of the mothers, the aunties, the sisters, the cousins, the best friends. Thank you all so much for your efforts here tonight. I would like to say, Nyingi Beliman Nandirata, may you always see the beauty of this earth. And Nyingi Manawa Ilalabo, may your feet never hurt. Dijari Guru Guanamia, thank you for remembering our ancestors tonight. Wadeo, welcome.
Please remain upstanding for the national anthem of Canada to be performed by Callista Nelms.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons' command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for
It is now time for the national anthem of Australia to be performed by Rachel Mayrick.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history
in this new Allianz Stadium. Team lineups and kickoff are coming up in just a couple of moments' time. Well, this is the 18th meeting between these two countries. Just as it was even on Saturday in Brisbane, and that 1-0 victory courtesy of Adriana Leon's goal, so it is tied in the head-to-head fixtures between these two sides. 7 wins apiece and 3 draws. But it's the Canadians that currently have the upper hand. They're looking for back-to-back wins on Australian soil for the first time ever. They're looking to make it 3 wins in a row over the Matildas. There is the mastermind of Saturday's win, Bev Priestman, the English woman at the helm of the Canada national team, and Tony Gustafsson, the Swede, at the helm of the Matildas in his 2nd year now, and looking for the results to see his side turn the corner. As the smoke settles from the pre-match fireworks, let's hope there are plenty of fireworks on the pitch this evening as well. The Matildas have flattered to deceive often in big contests against the world's very best. In Tony Gustafsson's reign over the last 18 months, just 1 win over a world top 20. They are measuring themselves against the very best with an eye on the World Cup in July 2023. The world's best include that woman, Christine Sinclair, football's all-time international leading goal scorer, 190 goals for Canada. As we have a look at the Matildas, the tried and true 4-3-3 from Tony Gustafsson. Lydia Williams earns her 102nd cap in goal, looking for a first clean sheet in 8 games. In defence, Ivy Lewick returns for the injured Alana Kennedy alongside Claire Polkinghorne. Tamiki Yallop comes in for Courtney Nevin at left back, while Charlotte Grant continues on the right. The midfield 3 are unchanged, while captain Sam Kerr leads the line in attack, flanked by Arsenal's Caitlin Ford and Courtney Vine of Sydney FC. 4 changes for the Matildas, 3 changes for Canada. Jade Rose and Marie Levasseur coming in to defence, while 35-year-old Desiree Scott brings all her experience into the midfield alongside the tireless and impressive Jessie Fleming. Up front, the front 4 remain unchanged, with match winner in Brisbane, Leon, alongside Christine Sinclair and OL Reigns, number 9, Jordan Heidemann. It is the Matildas who will get us underway. Sam Kerr letting her teammates know that she won the toss, and they have chosen ball first. Our referee is from Korea, Park Se-jin, being assisted by Seul-ji Lee and Park Mi-suk. Anna-Marie Cayley is our 4th official. There is a wonderful atmosphere inside the newly christened Allianz Stadium, and the Matildas will be looking to build on that atmosphere 10 months out from the World Cup, in which they hope to shine on home soil. Canada got the upper hand in the first meeting between these two sides in Brisbane just 3 days earlier. Amy Chapman, you know what it takes to defeat this Canada side on home soil. The last time we did that was back in 2008. You were on the score sheet that day. How important is it this evening in this stadium for the Matildas to bounce back?
Well, it does seem like a lifetime ago now, Robbie, but it can be done, and his team's quite similar in many ways, and only 1 goal the difference, obviously, in that first bout up at Suncorp. But a stadium certainly fit for a World Cup, isn't it, Robbie? And certainly fit for one of Australia's favourite sporting teams.
The Matildas have in the past captured the hearts and minds of the Australian sporting public. don't know if they need to recapture them. They certainly need to show them some TLC at the moment after a series of challenging results. They haven't won in their last 3. Their only wins in 2022 in 9 matches came against Indonesia, the Philippines, and that double-header against New Zealand at the start of the winter. Van Egmond getting the ball wide on that left-hand side to Caitlin Ford. Here's Mary Fowler, her left foot can pack a punch. As Ford goes sliding in, the flag was up for offside against the number 9.
We're seeing some glimpses of those early changes here for Tony Gustafsson and the Matildas. Obviously Caitlin Ford coming in, which is always an exciting inclusion, and of course Courtney Vine on the other flank, as well as Yallop.
Tamika Yallop stepping in at left back. She was an injury concern ahead of the first clash in Brisbane, as Sam Kerr does well. Here's Courtney Vine. She was excellent off the bench in Brisbane. Back to Kerr, who cuts it for Fowler! Less than 2.5 minutes on the clock. And Sam Kerr sets up Mary Fowler to give the Matildas the dream start.
A dream start indeed, Robbie. Tony Gustafsson happy with what he's seeing in these opening 2 minutes, and it is Mary Fowler finding herself open in the box here. Great little combination with Sam Kerr and Courtney Vine here. Beautiful little cut back, top of the box. Mary Fowler, no troubles.
After 2 years with Montpellier in France, she's just signed for Manchester City. In English football, she was the youngest player at the World Cup in 2019 in France. It's time Mary Fowler comes of age in that number 10, that playmaking role. Such a talented footballer, so much to offer. And let's hope those goals give her confidence. Here's Gorry, Australia's best outfield player, shall we say, because it was Lydia Williams, player of the match in the first match against Canada. But Gorry saw an enormous amount of the football. She was lively, industrious, and making things happen, and her performance is always key to this Matildas side at the moment.
It's almost been too much tempo in this game to dissect some of the positives from last game, but it was Katrina Gorry who had over 100 touches in that first game, 30 or 40 more than any other player for either team. So she's certainly crucial. It's just, what are they doing that with that possession? And that's a beautiful opening start for the Matildas.
She also had more interceptions, made more crosses, earned more free kicks. She was everywhere. And while we doff our hat also to Lydia Williams, might also mention that Kaylin Sheridan, the goalkeeper for Canada, made 7 saves in that contest, the most she's had to make all year to try and keep that clean sheet. Here goes Courtney Vine, the electric runner down the wide positions. And she's bundled over by St. George, who caught the eye as well in Brisbane. A very, very strong performance. In fact, that's Marie Levasseur on the other flank. Grant with Vine again, cleared by Levasseur, but only as far as Charlotte Grant. Here's Gorry, Matilda's favourite mum at the moment, playing a football in Sweden presently, looking to return to Brisbane Roar. Gorry's cross is blocked. Sinclair gets it wide with Nichelle Prince, who was permanently dangerous in the first match between these two sides. 13 of this Canada squad won the gold medal in Tokyo last year. There's plenty of quality in this side. There's Heidemer, formerly of Paris Saint-Germain, now with OL Reign, back in the NWSL. And the match winner, Adriana Leon. That's an interesting matchup, isn't it, against Yallop. Here is Leon again. Well played, Fowler, getting it wide for Vine, who loves to take people on. She's got to be careful. It's Heidemer tracking back. She finds Grant, overlapping on the outside. She was looking for Fowler. It might find Courtney Vine, who goes down asking for the free kick. Nothing given. And Fowler can't find Van Egmond.
A couple of good contributions from Vine out here. She's finding a fair bit of space and she's got pace to burn.
Emily Van Egmond getting involved early as well. If Katrina Gorry is the deep-lying playmaker, Emily Van Egmond offers a different physical profile, certainly, but also a player that doesn't always look as busy. It's about her positional sense, making tackles, winning the ball back, distributing. Here's Heidemer. Rides that first challenge, finds Jessie Fleming. Heidemer. Fouled by Van Egmond. She was considered the rising star of Canadian football some 5 or 6 years ago now, Jordan Heidemer. Burst onto the international scene at 15 years of age. Ivy Lewick. Yallop was pushing up on that left-hand side, and Lewick across well in cover against Leon. And here is Bianca St. George, who was so impressive 3 days ago. St. George's header finds Sinclair, a little glancing touch for Heidemer. And Ford can't keep it in play.
It's the first sort of sloppy giveaway we've seen coming out from the back there. Obviously, a bit of pressure on Lewick and Polkinghorne. It was an area Tony really wanted to focus on. There was a lot of cheap giveaways in that first game, which really put them under immense pressure.
It was turnovers in the wrong part of the field as well, which really was frustrating for Tony Gustafsson. Here's Levasseur with Prince ahead of her, looking to take on Grant. Prince getting down to the byline. The cross deflected and claimed by Lydia Williams. Her contribution will again be important this evening. Amy with Alana Kennedy missing. Polkinghorne switched sides. Lewick onto the left central defensive position. It's all little changes, but vastly experienced players, both of them. All three of them, in fact. Polkinghorne, Lewick and Williams, Asian champions in 2010. As here goes Fowler, looking for Kerr off the shoulder. The flag has gone up. Looked very, very tight.
It's a really nice build-up play there from the Matildas, and Sam Kerr looked like she'd held her line nicely there, and she's obviously got pace to burn, but yeah, she has just drifted offside there, but she did find a bit of space in the first game in a very similar fashion.
Prince with Heidemer, Sinclair. They've sprung the offside trap. No, they haven't, and that also looked very, very close indeed. Wonderful interchange of passes between Heidemer and Sinclair. I wouldn't mind seeing that one again as well. It was a good start from the Matildas. They have to keep it going. They have to maintain these intensity levels. That was what was lacking in part as well in Brisbane. Intensity, aggression, high pressing. Fowler's touchdown for Kerr. Grant trying to get front position, but Michelle Prince is a real handful for her this evening. Zadorsky. Forward for Sinclair. Cap number 317 for the 39-year-old Christine Sinclair. Number of important players missing for both sides as well. Here's that first offside. There. Offside. Very good decision. About half a shoe size in it. Leon there, just signed for Manchester United, fouled by Ford. So many English football matchups here, as well as the odd North American, the odd European as well. Sweden featuring heavily for both sides. As here's Heidemann turning onto that right foot, looking for the little slide rule pass into Levasseur. Fleming covering as here's Fowler, needs options. Gorry almost turned into trouble, but does brilliantly. Van Egmond inviting Lewick forward. Space for the Matildas to build something on that left-hand side. Jallup comes back, and the switch of play from Van Egmond is picked off by Levasseur. Now Prince one-on-one with Grant. This is where she's so dangerous. Fantastic covering from Gorry.
Prince was arguably the most exciting player to watch in that first game. She's incredibly quick, loves getting in those one-on-one isolated areas. Charlie Grant did pretty well in that first game, particularly in the first half. I think it opened up a lot in the second half, so she's going to have her work cut out for her tonight.
Fine. Kerr's touchback for Fowler. 35 yards out from her own goal. She didn't really have an option ahead of her, Mary Fowler, and that's a loose pass out of defence. That's what Tony Gustafsson wasn't happy with in the first game, and Sinclair's pass was looking for Heidemann. That's a good ball. Oh, flag up for offside against Caitlin Ford. See that 4-3-3 formation for the Matildas, with Gorry playing deeper, then Van Egmond, and then Fowler, the furthest forward of the three. Always just as the Matildas gave away the ball cheaply. There's a foul there on Courtney Vine. So too has St George from that right back position.
Courtney Vine showing the importance of a good starting position. She's there to apply that pressure from Sam Kerr's touch there. A couple of times she's been fouled for that very reason. A good starting position changes everything.
A foul by Shalina Zadorsky, who won the premiership in the A-League women's competition with Perth Glory back in 2014. Here's Gorry with the free kick. Kerr back across the face of goal. Ford just couldn't get there. Another of the bees in Tony Gustafsson's bonnet over the last 3 days was conversion, taking your chances. 7 clear scoring chances in Brisbane, none of them put away. And if you're conceding goals as regularly as the Matildas have been, you have to score to overcome that. That was a good set piece from Gorry, finding Kerr in the box. No Steph Catley again, who would be First choice left back, no Ellie Carpenter, of course, who's first choice right back, no Alana Kennedy. There are players missing in this Matildas outfit. It does force the coach to come up with new options. Yallop moving back. It's been a while since she's played a full-back role. Not entirely foreign for her, though. And Egmont, that's a good ball for Fowler. Now Courtney Vine taking off. So is Sam Kerr down the left-hand side. Great pace from the youngster Jade Rose, just 19 years of age, and she just tore up the turf.
It's an incredible recovery from Rose there. Sam Kerr finding that open space again, maybe just slightly too much angle on it, but 2v2, great opportunity.
Ball in for Vine, just trying to get the decisive touch. Well, she's no slouch, Sam Kerr. And the 19-year-old from Harvard University, where she plays her football, Jade Rose, cap number 3 for her. She was part of the under-20 side at the World Cup in Costa Rica just this winter. Leon behind for a goal kick. Canada lost all 3 of their games in the under-20 World Cup. Nigeria, France and Korea. That's plenty of experience for Jade Rose, and also Simi Awujo, who we saw off the bench in the first match in Brisbane. Took about half as many strides as Sam Kerr on the way there as well. Oh, look at Prince closing down Gorry, but Gorry wrestles it back. Canada want the free kick, nothing going. Zadorsky only as far as Gorry again, nutmeg on Heidemer. Grant.
Gorry so clever in those small spaces. She did lose the ball a little more often than she would like in that first game, but then again had over 100 touches. She's critical in how they play out the Matildas, but you can see she is very comfortable receiving the ball in tight spaces.
Ivy Lewick looking to get in behind St. George. We've seen a number of passes down that left-hand side looking to get in. Let's head down to Niamh Owen, who's on the sidelines this evening. Niamh, how is it down there in this brand new stadium?
Oh, Robbie, that early goal absolutely brought the crowd into the game. Plenty of goals all around, and they are loving what they're seeing so far. Tony's just been up on the sideline, TG, shouting for Minnie to push back deeper, really watching where she's playing her football in that 6th role.
And here they come again, the Matildas. Niamh Owens on the sideline at Allianz Stadium. And it's the first corner of the contest, earned by Caitlin Ford. And it will be Katrina Gorry, who created 3 chances, a match high in that first meeting between these two sides. It only took 1 goal to settle that one. Australia already have that goal this evening. As we approach the midway point of the first half, Gorry's ball in, left by Van Egmond. Polkinghorne is there. The ball just beat her out of play as the angle got tighter and tighter.
Not a convincing clearance here from the Canadians, and certainly Matilda's had a lot of players attacking near post. Ivy Lewick being the one who got something on that, but just not managed to get it on target.
By Heidemer. Grant with Lewick. And here's Gorry again, able to turn and face forward. Closed down by Scott. Her pass was looking for Vine. It's intercepted by Levasseur. Bev Priestman, who knows all about next year's World Cup co-hosts, New Zealand. She was assistant coach to the national team there between 2009 and 13, working for the Federation. From there she moved to Canada for 5 years, then alongside Phil Neville. between 2018 and 2020 with the Three Lions before returning to Canada for the top job. This time her first head coach experience after a decade of gaining the experience. And her first major tournament, well, she brought back a gold medal.
This is much better pressure from the Matildas today. I thought they would let the Canadians out too easily in game one, and their press looks much more organised.
Rose could have perhaps left it for a keeper, Sheridan. Sheridan, who plays for the San Diego Wave, where her teammate is, of course, Emily Van Egmond. 15 clean sheets for her, 6 in her last 7 matches for Sheridan between the posts with Canada. As here's Gorry for Vine, closed down by Fleming. Look at the work rate of Sinclair. The veteran still sliding in, fighting for everything. And no doubt, at 39 years of age, a leader on and off the pitch for this Canada squad. As that's claimed by Sheridan. She made her international debut in the year 2000. Christine Sinclair, as she gets the ball wide there for Heidemer. Leon and Prince and Sinclair making their way through the middle. Heidemer waiting for an option. She loses out to Gorry and then Lewick. Little pass from Van Egmond, but Fowler is dispossessed. Levasseur for Fleming. Sinclair herself believes will become quite possibly the best player in the world, Jessie Fleming, in years to come. Here's St. George. A bit too cute there against Yallop. The crowd enjoyed it. Fantastic touch from Kerr for Van Egmond. Oh, and the pass is underhit. Courtney Vine was away. There was acres of space in behind Zadorsky and Levasseur.
Must do better there, Robbie. That's 3v2 in favour of the Matildas, and just couldn't hit the pass there, and Vine making a perfect run and Sam Kerr drawing the defenders away. That's frustrating and a little wasteful.
That's a good challenge from Charlotte Grant. 20 years of age, playing with Vizio on loan from Rosengard. She was the Aussie player that touched the ball second most after Gorry, as this is a real moment of concern for the Matildas camp, because Tamika Yallop is down and receiving treatment. She's already third choice at this left-back position as it stands.
I thought I did catch a bit of a glimpse of perhaps grabbing at the lower leg after that challenge. There was obviously the initial challenge, and then Yallop stayed in the fight and won it back there, but you could see she looked a little ginger after this one. This is the initial mistake from Yallop, but she's had to really explode here. It looks like something's just gone slightly.
It could be a knock on the calf. What's that sign? A bit like it's a sign for OK. It certainly wasn't the traditional rolling fingers of time for a substitution. Courtney Nevins warming up, but it'll take something to force Tamika Yallop off a football pitch. She is a tough nut. Let's have a look at that goal after just 2 minutes and 24 seconds, Amy.
Was a slight gift from the goalkeeper there, but it took a bit of work from there. Courtney Vine dribbling in with intent and energy, and a really great cut back from Sam Kerr to the top of the box, and Mary Fowler, she's in goal-scoring form.
It was Fowler who jumped on the gift from Sheridan, intercepting the poor pass, and she was there to finish it as well. International goal number 8 for her. She got the winner against Great Britain at the Olympics. Mary Fowler in that 4-3 win. As here goes Sam Kerr against Scott and Zadorsky. That's a clever pass from Grant for Gorry. Getting into one of those more advanced positions, Katrina Gorry. The cross comes to nothing.
Wasn't one of her best moments there, Robbie, but it must be said only 13 months ago Katrina Gorry was giving birth to her first child, so talk about an inspiration and a talented player who was on track to just make it back for the World Cup, but she's well and truly in some fine form.
Young Harper, Matilda's #1 fan, certainly has an all-access pass. Here is Gorry. Line closed down by Levasseur. Line, who's been playing football for Sydney Olympic during the A-League Women's off-season. Clearly a player with the talent to play anywhere she wants. She wants to keep playing in Australia, at least for the time being. 24 years of age. As that falls for Kerr, who hits it first time, and it was on target. Well, she is the best in the business in front of goal, and spontaneity and improvisation is part of that, Amy.
Never a thought to take a touch there, and we don't mind that from Sam. Didn't quite get the connection she was after, but that's the intent you love from your number 9s.
She won absolutely everything last season, except the Champions League final with Chelsea. But she won the league and she won the cup. She was the Golden Boot. She won goal of the season. She was the players' player of the season, the fans' player of the season, the writers' player of the season. A wonderful footballer, and here's Caitlin Ford with Kerr stepping back towards the penalty spot. Kerr still. And very well defended, you have to say again, by the red shirts.
Yeah, Rose, the youngster, she's managed to even get her team a goal kick here as well. That's a nice switch from Emily Van Egmond. When she faces forward, she does have the ability to string those passes together. More of that from Emily Van Egmond, and great intent from Ford.
In the 30th minute of this contest, and Canada yet to have a shot at goal, whether on or off target. Grant, she's doing a great job at right back. Was fine. Well, perhaps it was Fowler that misread the intentions of that pass. Kerr looking over her shoulder to see if the teammates are stepping up with her to put the pressure on. Here's Zadorsky. To Sheridan, stepping way out of her penalty area. She's one of those Olympic gold medalists, one of 13 in this side. 16 of this travelling squad came second in the CONCACAF Championships just last month. They conceded just 1 goal in the whole tournament. It was in the final to the USA. And that narrow defeat as Lyon's ball in. Polkinghorn skews off the top of her boot and behind, and it's the first corner of the contest for the visitors.
ambitious ball in from Leon here, but Matildas have actually done well, touch wood, thus far to keep Canada really without any golden opportunities, even though they have given away possession a few times playing out from the back.
Will we see a first effort on goal from Canada? In it comes from Fleming. Lydia Williams with the big punch, and now the break could be on here. Grant. The Matildas looking to get numbers forward with Vine. The switch of play is on. Oh, and Courtney Vine just didn't see Caitlin Ford, who was charging up the left-hand side. St. George, it looked like it came off her hand, but the break is on again as Gorry releases Grant. Ford making the run near post. Blocked by Zadorsky. Gorry. Polkinghorne now decides to stride forward into midfield. Oh, nicely done, Courtney Vine, gliding in between players. Finds Ford on the edge of the area. Oh, and just one touch, perhaps too many, and just as it looked like it had opened up for her, the space just closed before her eyes. Back to Williams. Lewick, who's playing a midfielder by trade, playing in the centre of defence for Häcken these days in Sweden. There's the foul by Heidemer. Well, they're two physical sides. Heidemer is a good old-fashioned number 9 as Kerr's clever flick for Jallup, who's recovered from that knock on the shin. The cross in, cleared by Rose. It was Surayeka who earned her 16th cap in the centre of defence last start, who was already filling in for absentees for Canada this evening. It's Jade Rose. Here's Grant with Gorry. Vine. No foul by St. George. Here goes Van Egmond. Caitlin Ford accelerates again. Closed down by Levasseur. Ford still going for Vine. Needs a good cross. It is towards Kerr at the back post, and Sheridan's punch is then cleared by Prince. Rather curiously, Amy, you see wingers switch flanks often in matches. St. George and Levasseur have switched flanks in the fullback roles for Canada from left to right. Unusual.
Yeah, strikers usually it's sometimes players' choice out there just to change it up. Fullbacks, it's usually being barked from the box. But geez, I'm enjoying the difference in attack this time from the Matildas. A little bit more dynamic. Caitlin Ford running at players, happy to run across blocks. Vine finding herself in between lines and out wide. A lot more promising signs in attack in this game too.
Have numbers forward, looking to press forward. Van Egmond coming deep, looking for the football, but closed down by Leon. All the way back to Lydia Williams. Now Lewick again. That was a hard one for Jallup. 10 minutes to go until half-time. Matildas 1, Canada 0. Mary Fowler after just 2.5 minutes. Lydia Williams holding on for the moment to a much-needed clean sheet as here goes Gorry again into the area. Just crowded out, but Caitlin Ford has read the situation perfectly against Levasseur. Ford driving into the area, goes down under the challenge, and the referee waves it away with a shake of the finger. Park Se-jin not interested at all. Caitlin Ford can't believe it. There's Fowler. Oh, that's a wonderful pass for Courtney Vine. She's in here. Vine. Oh, she pokes it with the outside of the right boot, with only Sheridan to beat. And that was a wonderful opportunity to make it 2-0.
What an exhilarating last few minutes as we look at this one from Caitlin Ford. Oh, in real time, it looked like she had an argument there, but I'm not too sure on that second replay. But Courtney Vine, she just hesitated there. She's done all the hard work. Let's hope she grows as a confident striker there and just goes herself.
She scored so many fabulous goals this season in the A-League women's competition by marauding down that right wing and just blasting the ball inside the far post there. Too much time to think about it.
You could see that moment of hesitation where she looked up and thought, what are my options here? As a striker, your only option is to go for goal there. She'd done all the hard work, but she's had a pretty impressive opening stanza here, so the energy she's brought has been great, but she'll be pretty upset not to put that one away.
And here's Fowler stepping into space with Van Egmond. Again, Vine the option. Kerr telling him to get the ball wide. Overlapping run from Grant. Oh, again. Courtney Vines won it back. Again, she falls in the area, this time under the challenge from Leon. Positive stuff from the Matildas. Looking to finish this first half with a flourish as Lewick wins it back in Canada territory. And it looks like they are just lifting again in this run-in to half-time, as this time Vine gets the free kick from that foul from St. George. Let's have another look at that penalty shout while we prepare for this free kick, because there's contact there.
There is a little clip on the boot of the outside of the ankle there, but it does look like it's on the outside of the box either way there, but probably be generous to get that one.
Well, not enough contact in any case for the referee Park Se-jin, as Gori's ball in is met by the head of Christine Sinclair. Vine. All the way back now with Grant, and then Gori again driving it in. It's not an easy one, and it's well dealt with by Heidemer. Prince back for Heidemer. Nice first touch. Fleming alongside her, but they just tried to force the issue a little bit too much there, Canada. As Van Egmond gets out of jail, so does Fowler. Under pressure from Prince. Just not enough control in those passes. 3 in a row.
There's been some high turnover from both teams actually in this last sort of 10 minutes. It's who's better doing going forward in transition after these turnovers.
Kerr fouled by Zadorsky. Fleming in there as well, her Chelsea teammate. The second youngest ever player to represent Canada at senior level. Jessie Fleming, the youngest of course is Christine Sinclair. Sam Kerr's goal-scoring feats, basically averaging a goal a game over the last 6 years. Sam Kerr, a remarkable scoring record. Christine Sinclair has slowed up a little recently. 2 goals this calendar year. Sam Kerr has 10 so far. Number 11 will equal her best ever in a calendar year. She has a chance this evening, and then in September against Sweden to try and go better. As here's Ford into the area again. Ford still going, the shot near post. And it's another chance, and on the sideline, Tony Gustafsson holds his head in his hands because the chances are there for the Matildas and they're not taking them.
It was a good build-up from the Matildas as well, a really nice switch through midfield, get it out to Caitlin Ford. And again, she's done that 1v1, takes her player on, cuts inside, and she does get the shot off this time, just lacked the quality.
What is so promising, Amy, in the first 42 minutes of this has been the involvement of Vine, initially Fowler as well, and now Caitlin Ford coming into her own. But that debate of what happens, what if Sam Kerr is off, what happens, what if Sam Kerr doesn't deliver, as here goes Vine again. The Matildas are showing they have options. Oh, the touch takes a while to get the ball in, and then it's poor delivery from Courtney Vine.
It's just that decision-making again, letting Vine down. She's looking a little tired. It's certainly been with the most amount of minutes she played at this intensity, but again, that looked like it needed to be an early ball into the box. They had the numbers. Sam Kerr, Caitlin Ford have the pace. She just hesitated and ran out of ideas.
Well, the Matildas camp had said that she and Tamika Yallop, Courtney Vine, only had 20 minutes in them in Brisbane. That's somewhere between 45 and 60 here today, so enough to start. Will we see Courtney Nevin for Yallop at half-time? Will we see someone on for Courtney Vine at half-time as well, because she's just walking a little gingerly as well on that right foot, as though she kicked the ground or hurt her ankle a little bit trying to deliver that cross. That's a good ball again for Ford, who looks up for Kerr. Five shots to nil as we approach the 44th minute. 3 on target for the Matildas. 55% possession. They are dominating all over the park in every department, including, happily for Matildas fans, on the scoreboard as well. St. George's ball only finds Grant. Here's Vine again, hooking the ball over the top. Gorry, early ball for Kerr. Jade Rose, she's got Caitlin Ford at the back post. It's another strong challenge from the young central defender.
There are very few defenders in the game that can keep up with Sam Kerr, so kudos to Rose there. She had an early ball. If she just got her head up here, Sam Kerr across the top to Caitlin Ford, but wonderful defending.
Again, it's the vision of Katrina Gorry, seeing the early ball, seeing Sam Kerr getting one-on-one. And she's providing a performance that won't be forgotten at Allianz Stadium in a while. Jade Rose, 2 minutes of stoppage time have begun as Gorry stands over this corner. It'll be an outswinger with the right boot. Drives it in hard, only as far as Fleming. Well, we did have that long stoppage in play for Tamika Yallop to receive a bit of treatment. 2 minutes is a solid break. That should be a throw for the Matildas, and it is. Levasseur, who's back on the left. Good crowd in attendance as well for this first of the World Game at Allianz Stadium. It's going to be such a huge event. We saw the World Cup in France in 2019, the recent Euros in England, really capturing the imagination. And the World Cup next year in Australia and New Zealand will just be every bit of that and more. That's why the USA came here late last year. That's why Brazil came here. That's why Canada are here and why Sweden are coming. And you can get your tickets as well for those matches against Sweden. They're on sale now. And if you can't be at the games, then it'll be right here on Network 10 and 10 Bold and Paramount Plus, as well as the A-League Women's season, which is kicking off in a few weeks' time. There's Gorry's early ball. Only finds Fleming, Rose and Zadorsky. Half-time at Allianz Stadium. An exciting first 45 minutes, full of promise from the Matildas, who got off to the perfect start when Mary Fowler accepted Sam Kerr's cutback to open the scoring after just 2.5 minutes. Half-time in this clash between the Matildas and Canada, and it's Australia 1, Canada 0.
Well, what a first half from the Matildas. The crowd are absolutely loving every moment of this encounter. In round 2 of the 2-match series between the Matildas and Canada, we are off to a short break. We'll run our eye over all of the first half action. On the other side, it's 1-0. Don't go anywhere.
Cucumber cucumbers are crunchy, orky, and deliciously crisp. Nothing's quite as quick, nothing's quite as cute, nothing's quite as cool as Cubes. Promoting healthy snacks for good footballers as proud sponsor of Mini Moves. A lot has changed over the past few years. Together, we've seen all kinds of trends come and go. And evolve. Oh yeah. But one thing hasn't changed, be it beauty or health. Has always been there with you since 1982.
Well, it's a cracking night and a very, very special atmosphere here at Allianz Stadium as the Matildas go head-to-head with Canada Mark II. They met 3 days ago. The scoreline at the end of that one, 1-0 to Canada. And well, as the Matildas head into half-time, it is 1-0 with a goal to the good, thanks to Mary Fowler. Hello, welcome back. I'm Tara Rushton. It is great to have your company and to be joined by Andy Harper and Grace Gill. Well, that was a great first half. I thoroughly enjoyed that, Andy Harper. A much more improved performance than what we saw 3 days ago. A lot more intensity. And yes, the Matildas are in the lead, but what have you made of it?
I agree completely, Tara. In fact, not just with reference to 3 days ago, I think quite comfortably this is one of the Matildas' best halves of football in the Gustafsson era. I'm very comfortable saying that. I was really impressed with the first half. Of course, Grace, it helps when you get an early goal to settle whatever nerves are there. But I think the manner of the goal, that set the tone for the half, and the way the girls as a group were able to go on from there was really impressive. Without being perfect, of course, there's some really good talking points in the game, Grace, but what a fantastic start. Intercept by Mary Fowler, who then continues the forward run to finish the action off.
And this cutback as well from Sam Kerr, really clever, not just to hit that blindly, but she knew she had runners coming into the top of the box there. Mary Fowler does excellently to continue her passage of play into the box and slots away a really neat goal in the second minute of the game. It's getting the Matildas off to a flying start. Their sustained pressure from early on and their defensive shape has set them apart in this first 45 minutes.
Yeah, and the other player in that goal-scoring sequence is Courtney Vine, Tara. We talked about her pre-game. She's been outstanding in this first half. And if you're looking at really positive signposts out of that 45 minutes, one of the real features was the dynamism on either flank. Caitlin Ford has had her best half as a Matilda for quite some time. She looked way back to the Caitlin we've come to know and love over many years. Outstanding down the left. Courtney Vine, inspirational down the right. A little bit raw on a couple of occasions, a bit impetuous on a couple of occasions, but shown enough to vindicate her selection and just what she can be for this team.
And as you can see there, shots on target to Canada, 0. So the Matildas are really holding them at bay. Mary Fowler, there is something about her. We know that already, Grace Gill. She started the action, she finished the action, yet again in stunning form here tonight.
Yeah, she's been really key this evening. She's getting herself on the ball really well, having a couple of nice combinations as well with Sam Kerr at the front there. Love to see her just get on the ball a little bit more in the second half. She's integral for this Matildas team side. We know that the goal was obviously a really neat tuck away. But in terms of her play, her link-up play, her ability to see those passes and put in the beautiful weight and texture on those kind of balls, even to be able to roll out under pressure, play forward through a defensive line, that's what's breaking this Canada team down.
Very, very well said, Grace. I mean, we've just seen in this highlights package, and there's not enough time in a half-time segment to go through. Thankfully, all the highlights that the Matildas generated, but her passing out of midfield, Katrina Gorry on a couple of occasions as well, but we are talking about Mary Fowler. Just sublime, some of those through passes. Gustafsson talked coming into this game about a lack of conversion. We're not talking about missing chances necessarily, although Courtney Vine on that last one did in this, but we have failed to convert a couple of really promising attacking opportunities, a missed pass out wide, a mistimed run, poor support, poor communication. So at half-time, if we can start to iron out a few of those little wrinkles, then we can expect maybe, Tara, even more in the second half on the back of that very, very good first half.
To the both of you, are Australia perhaps unlucky to not be heading into the sheds 2-0? There was a pen shout here. We all stood up in the box. How did you both see it?
Look, I think Caitlin Ford definitely has a case to shout here. She's doing this really well with the ball at her feet, driving into the box. And for me, there's probably a touch too much pressure on her back. She does go down. As an experienced player, you know if you get contact in that part of the field, you're going to go down.
Yeah, well, look, it's a dead set infringement. It's a dead set penalty. I mean, I don't know what else has to happen. The best part of this is not the referee's decision or the controversy. The best part of this is the space that Caitlin made for herself. You know, we haven't seen enough in the Matildas in recent months of players in individual spaces just putting on a bit of a trick, putting on a bit of technique to win some space for themselves. Caitlin did it brilliantly then, and she should have been rewarded with the penalty.
Yeah, she is playing down the house here at Allianz Stadium. Well, let's get the thoughts of one of the Matildas who's back in camp. Neve Owens is with Chloe Lagazo.
Thanks, Tars. Chloe, how close were you to being out there tonight?
I was really, really close. I've only played 15 minutes, so they thought it was wise that playing against a team like Canada, we just give it to the next window. So I'm content with that. I'm just happy to be home on home soil.
You would have been happy with that first half performance as well. It felt like there was an energy and intensity that we didn't see in Brisbane.
Absolutely. I think our high press from the start was absolutely phenomenal. It ended in a goal. We've had unbelievable chances. We played most of the game in their half. So it's just exactly how we are and the way we play. So it's electric to watch from up there.
We've missed you this window. Any chance we'll see you back playing here over the summer?
You've been a bit cheeky, but maybe you just have to wait and see.
We'll wait and see, Tars. Cannot wait for more.
Fingers crossed. Would that be with Sydney FC? Who knows? But great to see Chloe Lagazzo back in camp. We are off to a short break. A huge second half coming up on the other side. Goals and more of them, please, for the Matildas. And don't forget, the Australia Cup semi-finals, they are locked and loaded. They're locked in and they kick off this Sunday.
Give it away, by Boyce. Dragic.
Oh! That is unbelievable. And now O'Shea, Jay O'Shea with a special strike.
Decker, oh, the glancing header, and at the back post, it might yet go in, and it has, and it is Chris Lucas.
It's a terrible error, it's again, it's Rose, and it's MacArthur through to the semi-finals.
A Newcastle native Tara debuted for Australia against China on October 2015. A former CommBank young Matilda, she has made 2 international appearances for the CommBank Matildas, and Tara has also had a starlight of the W League Liberty A-League seasons in competition, having played since the inaugural season in 2008. Matildas fans, give it up for Tara Andrews. I think we have found Santa Claus here at Allianz Stadium. A big round of applause for Santa! Woo! Who have we got next, guys? We're going to have a look at our celebrity fan cam. Ooh, we've got Moana, Matildas fans. Let's take a look. Where's Moana? Where is she? We have found Moana, Matildas fans. Make some noise for Moana! Oh, Matildas fans, we have Tay Swift in the house tonight. There's that lookalike Taylor Swift, Matildas fans. I think she's pretty stoked about that. Oh, Ron Weasley has flown in. What? Let's take a look. Where's Ron Weasley, Matildas fans? There is Ron Weasley, Matildas fans. Make some noise!
You come from a land down under, where women go and men
Half-time in Sydney, where the Matildas, the world number 12, the future co-hosts of next year's Women's World Cup, are leading the Olympic gold medalists and world number 7 Canada by a goal to nil. Mary Fowler, the new Manchester City signing, with the only goal of the game after just 2.5 minutes, set up by Sam Kerr. Australia's all-time leading goal scorer and captain. A fantastic shot in the arm for Mary Fowler's confidence. A young player, still just 19 years of age. A form player with so much to offer. Have a look at that, FIFA 23, Sam Kerr. It's an Australian footballer on the cover of the most popular video game in the history of the world. And Sam Kerr is there, flying the flag, alongside Kylian Mbappe, the Paris Saint-Germain and France World Cup winner and superstar. Changes for both sides at the break. It's Emily Gilnick who comes on to replace Courtney Vine, who is looking a little battered and weary after an intensive opening 45 minutes. And for Canada, Grosso comes into the middle of the park to replace Scott, so reunites her with Fleming in the middle of the park. And Becky, the experienced left back, Janine Becky, for cap number 96, comes on for Marie Levasseur. We are all set for a start. Canada chasing the game. They won the first match in this 2-test series in Brisbane by a goal to nil. The tables have been turned halfway through this second encounter. Amy Chapman, it was a first half full of promise for the Matildas, but one of the keys to mounting a serious challenge in world football is putting together 90 solid minutes. They can do that this evening.
You're spot on, Robbie, and it was a 100% improvement on last week. The intensity was better, the movement was better, the attack, particularly from Caitlin Ford, was fantastic. And of course Vine, who has been given an early mark, but she certainly showed a lot of promise, aside from a few hesitations in that really final moment. She's an exciting player to watch, but Canada really came alive in the second half. We've barely seen anything from Prince today, who really dominated in the second half, so a big watch out for the Matildas.
Well, there's no Hayley Razzo in this squad as well. She's another that could play in that wide role. Kaya Simon is missing from this Australia setup as well. There is Courtney Vine still sucking in the deep breaths after a huge amount of work in that first 45 minutes. Other players missing. There's no Ellie Carpenter. She's still on her way back, and we wish her still a speedy recovery. By all accounts, going well with her recovery from ACL, the Olympic Lyonnais European champion. As Ford gets in the way in the end of Yallop. Now Van Egmond. It was a difficult pass, but the only one really open to her, with Yallop there as well. Holly McNamara, another who burst onto the scene last year, only to be cut down with an ACL, which has become a recurrent theme for her in her career. And while coach Tony Gustafsson said it will be very hard now for any bolters to break their way into this squad 10 months out from the World Cup, it could happen. Certainly if she's fit, you'd have to think that Ellie Carpenter has a little place for her reserved in this squad. Prince finding Leon, just stepping away from Yallop, and here's Sinclair. First cross blocked, Leon is there! Played in by Sinclair. And Adriana Leon, who got the winner in Brisbane, strikes again. And just as Fowler scored after 2.5 minutes of the first half, 2.5 minutes into the second, and Canada are level.
Some wonderful movement from the Canadians here. It was 3v3 and Matilda's looking very stretched. Sinclair, the number 10, drifting out wide, and a lovely finish again from Leon. Not the second half start the Matildas were after.
Lovely controlled ball back in from Sinclair. Priestman and her bench celebrate. The entire Canada bench was up off their feet celebrating that goal as well. Well, a dream start to the match for the Matildas, a nightmarish start to the second half. Oh, as Gilnick with all the time in the world to bring that ball down. For the more difficult option of looking for Fowler with the header.
She has wonderful control as well. Really needed to bring that down on the chest and can strike that ball from distance. Gilnick really got to back herself again. Another striker just hesitating.
Gorry does brilliantly. Australia need to get back on the front foot here. Fowler with a raking ball wide for Caitlin Ford to run at St George. Ford into the area. She's done well. The cutback deflected and cleared by Jade Rose.
Distribution from Fowler is world-class. She is certainly one to watch come World Cup time, and Caitlin Ford getting a lot of space here and thrives on those 1v1s.
St George just showed her the way into the channel. Kerr back with Gorry. She can hit them from distance as well. It falls nicely for Gilnick. Just couldn't bring it under control. Heidemer with Sinclair looking to release Leon again. One-on-one with Yallop. Fleming with Grosso. Plays a football with Juventus in Italy. Grosso, as here's Becky. Janine Becky, the cutback. It bounces off Grant and behind for a corner. You talk about momentum in a clash. You talk about momentum in a World Cup campaign. The momentum in this one has swung cabs early in this second half. Janine Becky. In it comes, near post, claimed by the new Paris Saint-Germain goalkeeper Lydia Williams. Turned over again though. Egmond and Fowler. Oh, well played, Yallop. Wins it back. Kerr takes off again. The pass just under hit. We saw that in the first half as well. Zadorsky with Sheridan. Good ball for Becky. Zadorsky again with Prince. Charlotte Grant not getting too close. Leon. Great control, and you can hear Tony Gustafsson screaming at Ivy Lewick to step up, to go with her. Don't give her that space, because here come Canada again with Prince, who crosses back post towards Sinclair. Grant's header just gives it straight back to Janine Becky. Here's Fleming. St George with Fleming. Well, Bev Priestman, the diminutive English coach of Canada, has clearly found the right words after a very disappointing first half. As here they're in behind them again, and Michelle Prince has the ball in the back of the net. The flag is up for offside. And again, it's another that will need a look at the replay. Priestman claims it came off a defender on the way through.
Did look like at full stretch here. So certainly both in an offside position there, but was there any contact on that stretch from Grant? Either way, the Matildas looking quite exposed early in this second half.
Heidemer's challenge on Lewick. The much needed free kick for the Matildas just to try and settle things down a little bit. Well, that rule has just recently changed again. That defender getting a touch on the football, and if Grant had got that touch, it clearly would have been onside. The referee's assistant and the referee deciding that wasn't the case, fortunately for the Matildas, as here goes Kerr, but the flag is up again for offside. What was nice in the first half was using this ball sparingly for Sam Kerr. We've already seen it a couple of times in this second half. Variation is key to unlocking a defence as good as Canada's is. As Becky hits it near post, saved by Williams.
Becky's brought a bit of energy off the bench for this Canadian team, and as we mentioned, Prince just came alive in the second half of that opening game, and she's already had some good moments here. Matildas just need to settle. You can hear the coach's orders. Lewick, Yallop, they just need to sit in their positions a little bit more, just getting really stretched.
We're going to have another change now for Canada. And it's the number 14, Gabrielle Carl, who comes into the game into that fullback role for Bianca St. George, who gets a hug on her way to the bench from her coach, Bev Priestman. Another who's had a good couple of matches, the Chicago Red Star. She was a part of the squad that finished second to the USA in the CONCACAF Championships last month as well. She only made her debut last year. That was cap number 5 for St. George. As Heidemer comes off second best in that challenge with Yallop. Gorry looking for Kerr. Van Egmond for Fowler. Is there a little space to turn? She didn't see Prince coming. Now Heidemer is very gingerly back to her feet.
Organize! Follow Sam! Pull! Ivy!
Again, you can hear Gustafsson screaming at his players to stay organised, to follow players, to be aware. The pressure on Rose as Caitlin Ford goes diving in.
You can't go round them, Robbie, you go through them.
She just stood strong, didn't she? Like a rock. Jade Rose wasn't going anywhere. Here's Fleming. That's an ambitious pass, which is picked off. Now Gilnick. The first real touch of the football for her. That's a good pass from Fowler. Releasing Charlotte Grant. Kerr's in the middle. Ford's arriving. Grant still going. And look who's back doing the defending. Michelle Prince again.
It's a nice overlapping run from the youngster Grant here. She's had her work to do defensively, but this is what you want from the fullbacks. This is what we usually get from the likes of Carpenter and Catley, but some wonderful tracking back from the speedster Prince.
Zadorsky with Becky. Closed down well by Gilnick. You can hear the drums of the small but noisy active support behind the goal being defended by Canada. They will erupt if the Matildas can get a second. That goal for Canada, their first shot in the match. Fleming, Sinclair, back to Fleming. Heidemer's run, well read by Ivy Lewick. Oh, but Sinclair's just won it back again. She's got Leon ahead of her. Sinclair still going towards Heidemer. Look at Becky getting there. Foul by Gorry. probably too far out for a direct free kick effort at goal. But the referee has decided it's time for the first booking of the evening. And it's for Katrina Gorry.
She had to commit on that one, and it was again a defensive mistake, beautifully cut out initially from Lewick, but a couple of times they do the interception, and then the next pass must stick, and that's the turnover, the quick transition that's really catching out the Matildas.
Gorry picked up a yellow card in the 93rd minute of the last game against Canada. She's got in a bit earlier here, just before the hour mark. Courtney Nevin and Claire Polkinghorn were also booked in that first match. And Adriana Leon, why not when you've scored 2 and 2? Goals number 25 and 26 of her career. Looks as though she's lining this one up, the new Manchester United signing. Straight at Lydia Williams, to the delight of the home fans. Ford under pressure, stays in play though. Well read by Gorry. No foul by Fleming. And that time Christine Sinclair just rushing the ball forward a little bit.
Looked like a Wallabies tackle there. She's completely flipped over the all 55 kilos of Katrina Gorry, and Fleming coming underneath her. That's a clear foul.
Julia Grosso. As Heidem has been flattened by Lewick. It's getting pretty physical out there. Here's Grosso again. The cross in from Carl. Cleared by Gorry. Julia Grosso, whose name would suggest in her club side Juventus, it's not actually of Italian origin, but Portuguese. As here's Kerr. One-on-one with Jade Rose. And Kerr trying to use her muscle, but Rose just using her pace. And when you have that much pace, it's really not easy. Sam Kerr would get her body in front, bustle her out of the way, but she'd just come back again, and she could take the long road all the way around. Ford is grabbing, is that right calf? Looks like it could be. And it's in that challenge with Fleming.
She does clutch at it quite quickly there. It's just that top of that right calf, and she's certainly put in a shift today. But again, that's another worry for the Matildas. Soft tissue injuries backing up, and she's been really integral in the opening half, particularly for the Matildas.
She played no part in the first game, of course, because she didn't have the minutes in her. They were nursing a little problem. The referee asking her to, if she can get up and get on with things. Well, let's have a look at Adriana Leon, who's been the star of the show for Canada. The first clinical precision and power from the edge of the box, and this one a completely different goal, Amy.
Yeah, she certainly enjoyed her time down under and will be wanting to build on this leading into the World Cup next year, but she's a player in form, in positions, and can show she can score tap-ins and she can score worldies.
Changes coming then for the Matildas. Kyra Cooney-Cross comes on to replace the hapless Caitlin Ford, who steps out of the game with injury, and Tamiki Yallop, who's got through the 63 minutes that was prescribed to her by by coach Tony Gustafsson before kick-off, and it's Courtney Nevin who played left back in the first match against Canada, who returns to that position and can renew hostilities with Adriana Leon, because that was quite a battle, the Battle of Brisbane last Saturday there as well. Well, the women's game is every bit as competitive and tough as any other version of elite international sport. And this young player really looks like something, as here goes Leon again. What a week she's having down under. Adriana Leon, and look what it means to this Canada team as all 10 outfield players come to celebrate with the star of the show and the girl that set it up. Jade Rose receiving just as many accolades as the goal scorer. What a prospect she looks. And it's 2-1 to Canada now.
And this is certainly one for the highlights reel here for Canada. Rose, the youngster, doing everything she can, dribbling out, gets the assist with a dummy in their beautifully timed run, and what a finish.
And there we were saying what a fantastic first half it was from the Matildas, but you need to do it over 90 minutes. We're not 20 minutes into the second half, and Adriana Leon has struck double. Now, Kerr at the other end on the left foot, saved by Sheridan. As the Matildas look to their star player for a way back into the game, but the flag was up. Now let's have a look at when this ball was played. Very close. Polkinghorne maybe just keeping her on. It's a clever dummy from Heidemann.
It was beautiful to watch, really not for the Matildas obviously, but it was a beautiful goal. It's millimetres onside there. It's really hard to tell, obviously no VAR, but the quality of their attack.
And it's like they've just flicked a switch, isn't it, during the half-time break. Gorry, there's still plenty of time left for the Matildas, but they have a game on their hands here. And again, 10 months out from the World Cup, the pressure on coach Tony Gustafsson. This is match number 26 for him. 8 wins, 3 times against New Zealand, Brazil, Great Britain, Indonesia, Philippines and Thailand. 5 draws, 12 losses. The losses are like a who's who of international football. Canada, Spain, Korea, USA. USA against Sweden, Japan, Denmark, Netherlands, Germany. And you could throw Ireland in there for good measure as well. Another change for Canada with Chloe Lacasse, who comes into the game up front to replace Michelle Prince, so some respite for the Matildas. Right back Charlotte Grant, perhaps. She'll certainly be happy to see the back of Michelle Prince. As Lewick's pass is picked off by the woman of the moment. The cross back post towards Lacasse. Becky is there. Switch of play, the header away by Nevin. Here comes Carl. Leon. Crosses again, Lewick with a good header away. Van Egmond mishits, picked up by Fleming. Carl for Leon. They're toying with the Matildas at the moment. They just can't put their foot on the ball. Kyra Cooney cross gives it away. They're turning the screw. Canada, it's with Janine Becky. Here's Fleming. Bypasses Grosso for Carl. Leon. One-on-one with Nevin. The cross in near post again, and Lydia Williams jumping on the grenade. Oh, now Gorry's been dispossessed by Lacasse. Fleming's ball. Not an easy one for Carl. Grosso, neat and tidy in the middle of the park. A league and cup winner with Juventus last season, the Canada number 7. Here's Sinclair. Leon. Courtney Nevin's a fighter. She's a battler and she's won the throw there.
It's like two different teams come out of the halftime shed here. Obviously, Canada certainly had a few gears they could change into after a pretty poor first half, but the Matildas just have not found their rhythm.
Fleming and Van Egmond with a clash of heads. Fleming's come off second best. He's having a word to Emily Van Egmond, but she did absolutely nothing in that challenge. It's another loose pass. They're really struggling to just string together 3 or 4 passes at the moment, the Matildas. Carl again. It is becoming a relentless tide of attack from Canada. Every time the Matildas get it back, they give it back. They need someone to put their foot on the ball. Someone to try and swing the momentum back in their favour. Sam Kerr has become isolated in attack. Fowler is not seeing much of the ball. For Heidemer to chase. Here's Lueck. Tony Gustafsson, who spent so much of the first half out of his dugout on the edge of his technical area, and at the start of the second half has returned to take a seat. Gilnick with Gorry. She'll run onto that pass from Fowler. Now here's Nevin. She's got Kyra Cooney-Cross ahead of her Hammarby teammate in Sweden. She finds her into the box. The cut back towards Fowler. And it's Grosso just with a toe on the ball who brings it under control and clears.
Probably the first completed play and completed passes from the Matildas there with good movement. Nice little run inside the 18 from Cooney-Cross.
Gorry again. Being crowded out, 3-on-1, and here's Leon. Flag will go up for offside against Heidemer. And if that pass had come just a second or two earlier, Heidemer would have been in again there. They're trying to play the ball out from the back. Gustafsson wanting his midfielders to take those free kicks and give more options to the side. Cooney-Cross against Carl. A little touch for Gorry. Needs an option. Van Egmond with Fowler. Grant screaming for the ball at right back. She gets it now. Turns inside Lacasse. Grant, ball in. Cleared by Rose. And Grant again. Lacasse clears only as far as Nevin. Gilnick screaming for the ball on that far side, and Fowler's first time pass. I'm not sure Kyra Cooney-Cross was the intended target. Better signs, though.
Yeah, a few minutes here, you can see Matildas wanting to push forward a little bit more, getting their fullbacks involved with the attack as well. You can see Grant was just confused. Do I float this one into Sam Kerr, or do I have a crack? And probably did neither in the end, but better intent.
Sinclair outside again for the marauding Lyon. Nevin with arms raised. Lyon feels there was a foul there. Here's Van Egmond turning away from trouble. She did that nicely. Grant into the feet of Kerr. Zadorsky sliding in, and she's won it back. The Tottenham defender looking for Heidemer. Just lost her footing. She's worked very hard, Jordan Heidemer, after 3 seasons at Paris Saint-Germain, where she never really managed to impose herself. Certainly not first choice. Sheridan with Rose. Nevin's header only finds Lyon again. Well, confidence sky high, and why wouldn't it be? Van Egmond is able to turn. Grant was asking for the ball. Gilnick was peeling off on the far side. Kerr is on this left flank. It's Kyra Cooney-Cross playing through the middle at the moment. But there are red shirts everywhere. They're cutting off the angles for passes. They're closing down space. They look very, very organised. And they've won it back again with a player moving forward, moving into space. First time pass for Sinclair. Well, this is the measure against which Tony Gustafsson wanted to see his Matildas. It started against Germany and the Netherlands, with 2 5-goal hauls against them, then Denmark. It's been just a litany of huge football matches for the Matildas. And there's another example of it here against Canada. They make 2 more changes now. Noel Rains. Quinn is about to come into the contest. Jessie Fleming, what a match she has had. She'll be replaced by Sophie Schmidt, one of the players, along with Desiree Scott and Christine Sinclair, to have won a medal at each of the last 3 Olympic Games. 2 bronzes in London and Brazil before gold in Tokyo. So Quinn, they have come on into the centre of the park to replace Fleming. And Schmidt comes on for the veteran Christine Sinclair. Well, for the Matildas, it's going to be just under 15 minutes for Claire Wheeler and Alex Chidiac. And Chidiac, even here in Sydney, a crowd favourite. Plays a football these days after a spell last season with victory, a very accomplished one. Now plays with Racing Louisville in the NWSL.
Both Chidiac and Wheeler are exciting young players, and Wheeler will come in and slot into that holding number 6 role, and which will actually allow Gorry to be released further forward, which she is naturally known for being a really great attacking midfielder. So let's see if that can change the game. Can it stabilise and get something firing again for the Matildas.
Very different profiles to Mary Fowler and Emily Van Egmond, who have just gone off as Grosso wins it back. Now Rose all the way back to Sheridan. We talked about the chances in the first half for the Matildas that weren't taken. Just one shot at goal in this second half against 4 for Canada. And there might yet be more to come. Well defended by Lewick. Here's Kyra cross, but no way past Gabrielle Carl. Let's head down to Niamh Owens again on the sideline. Niamh, how is it? What's the crowd feeling like now with just over 10 minutes left to play?
They're absolutely willing the Matildas on, Robbie. Crowd figure in for this first game for the Matildas at Allianz Stadium, just under 27,000. They're absolutely trying to be that extra player out on the pitch. You can see a little bit of frustration from the Matildas as well, Robbie. Sam Kerr, for example, really urging Kyra Cooney-Cross to stay wide, to stick to her wing with all those changes the Matildas have made in this second half.
Well, it isn't easy when you make so many changes either to a side. There's always a few minutes of adaptation. Chidiac, Wheeler, and Gorry now the midfield 3. Kyra Cooney-Cross, left wing, Gilnick, right. Five changes made by Tony Gustafsson. And full quota of changes being made by the Canada team, as well as there's a corner for Canada. We just see Rose getting some salts or energy, something on board for the last 10 minutes. Snacking late in the contest.
As someone who's currently 6 months pregnant, I am not opposed to snacking at any time, Robbie, but in these final 10 minutes, we need a bit of character from the Matildas here to hang on and push for a result here. The first 45 minutes, they deserved a result. They've not put on the same 45 again in this second half, which you alluded. It's a 90-minute game of football.
Leon's shot claimed by Williams. Well, the crowd are enjoying their evening. Williams' clearance is poor. Of this trip here. Now, is that cramp? She's only just come on. She's not happy with the whistle in the ear, as we're going to see another change with Larissa Crummer preparing to come into the game. Now, this is a strange one for Gabrielle Carl. She is in some real discomfort. Happen during the corner. She's made her way all the way back there into her position as Larissa Crummer is on for cap number 26. Up front these days, she did start out as a fullback, as a defender, and she's just replaced Ivy Lewick. This will probably see Courtney Nevin move into the centre of defence, or perhaps 3 at the back. Great to see Larissa Crummer on the football pitch. She was at the World Cup in 2015 at just 15 years of age. 3 times A-League Women's Champion as well. Now, Gabrielle Carl is heading straight down the tunnel. I was going to say, if it had been cramp or something, part of the reason for this trip for Canada was to deal with things like jet lags, which by all jet lag and sleeping patterns and strategies and hydration and all the things that come with traveling vast hours in an aeroplane to then go and push yourself through the limit in a football match. Let's certainly hope that Gabriel Carl is okay. Crummer looking for the glancing touch towards Gilnick. No way through. Lacasse wins it with Zadorsky. Sheridan long towards Heidemer. Won by Polkinghorne. Good header. Finding Cooney Cross. Wheeler. It is three at the back for the Matildas with an unorthodox right centre back in Charlotte Grant. Here's Gorry. Long towards Crummer. Kerr was lurking, but it's dealt with by Grosso. Now Grant stayed forward and Heidemer has spotted the space. Overlapping run coming from Lacasse. She almost found her as well.
You can hear Tony on the sidelines here pushing. He's gone to a potentially three at the back with these two wing backs trying to fly forward, and injected Crummer into the game as well. Another tall timber to target.
Here's Grosso with Quinn. Looks up, finds a square ball for Schmidt. Quinn giving the option again in the middle of the park. Here's Grosso. And a loose pass, a rare loose pass. In this second half from a red shirt, it was Becky. Cap number 96 for her this evening. We have some hugely experienced footballers in this squad. Schmidt's another one, cap 215 for her. No way through for Heidemer. Chidiac with a foul on Quinn. And a chance for Canada to soak up a few more seconds.
Yeah, it's a late foot from Chidiac there. It's definitely a foul, but Canada, I'm sure, will try and maintain a bit of possession here, take the momentum out of the Matildas, who are really trying to push for something here. They're a world-class team. They're Olympic champions. They do know how to manage games.
They know how to defend as well. Cooney Cross with Chidiac. Back for Cooney Cross. Looking for an option. Gorry turns the challenge of Lacasse. Gorry still. Cuts inside again. Scott Gilnick screaming for the football. Back for Gorry. This is well played. Gorry's cut back. Chidiac was there. Cleared by Zadorsky. For the last 10 minutes in Brisbane, we saw the Matildas throw everything at Canada. Will we see the same here?
We see another Canadian player going down, stretching another part of the body here. A few tactics potentially from the Canadians, but Sam Kerr has been starved from a bit of service into the box there. There was a moment Gorry could have whipped that in. We know the aerial threat that Sam Kerr is, and the crowd here in Allianz not enjoying.
There's Gabriel Carl again, who got back on the field of play. There she looks. She's been unceremoniously sent from the field by the referee and the crowd. Now, is she wondering if someone's going to come on to replace her? It's only really Clarissa Larissi. left. Yeka Arujo, who played in the first game. Grosso turns it over for Chidiac. Gilnick's ball in is under hit again, as though she was caught in two minds. Canada are a player down with 2 minutes left in regulation time. Can the Matildas fashion something here? Gorry. Crummer looking to make the run in behind. Wheeler dispossessed by Lacasse. One for Heidemer, and perhaps Chloe Lacasse to chase. Here's Polkinghorne. With Nevin. Long ball towards Kerr, getting front position on Jade Rose, but it falls kindly for the captain Zadorsky. Becky all the way back to Sheridan. A turned over. Chidiac. Here's Kerr. Sam Kerr. Is this the moment? Might yet fall for Chidiac. Corner for the Matildas. No. Goal kick. Says the referee. It was a formidable block by Quinn, who put their body on the line there to deny Chidiac.
Some wonderful defending there from Quinn. As you can see them waving people, the medical staff on here. They look like they're quite concerned for Quinn, who's just come off the bench and done really well on that occasion. Chidiac thought it was an absolute gift falling to her there, but
well, she picked up a knock in training before the first game and didn't feature in Brisbane. They've come on here, Quinn. Six minutes of stoppage time. Let's head down to Neve Owens.
Robbie, TG's using these final minutes to relay some messages to his troops. He's had Courtney Nevin over. She's relayed that message to Polks. He's now called Claire Polkinghorne over. He's called Alex Chidiac over. So clearly the coach giving the team some final instructions for these last moments of the game.
Well, now is the moment. It's all or nothing for the Matildas. 6 minutes of stoppage time. That won't have started yet. They'll be at least into the 97th, 98th minute in theory alone, of course. As Quinn very gingerly on that right leg makes their way off the field. Just looking to see Gabrielle Carl has rejoined the fray, but she's hobbling on one leg as well. She's decided the right back to go and play centre forward, where she'll just try and make a nuisance of herself, the number 14. That means Adriana Leon is playing right back now for Canada, as Quinn makes their way back around the pitch towards the sideline as Cooney Cross gets a foot in there. There is just about no way past Jade Rose at the back.
Canada limping their way to the finish line here. The momentum is with the Matildas. Jade Rose has been the best on ground for me, the youngster. See some quality delivery into Sam Kerr here. Give the Tall Timbers, Crummer, an opportunity.
Polkinghorne with Chidiac. Easily read by Schmidt, but Gorry rides the challenge. Polkinghorne's cross. No contest on Sheridan. A comfortable one for her, who will lose her recent clean sheet record. And there she is, Jade Rose. What a performance from the teenager from Harvard University. Gorry with Wheeler. Don't forget all these Matilda players came through the A-League women's ranks. And the next Matildas are playing there this season as well. Who knows, there could be a bolter like a Courtney Vine from Sydney FC. Princess Abini's on the bench here this evening as well. Jada Wyman was called up to camp. And it all kicks off on Network 10 and Paramount Plus in the coming weeks as Gorry's ball over the top. Before then, of course, the Matildas will be back on home soil against another giant of the European game in Sweden, who were actually the Olympic semi-finalists who defeated Australia and went on to claim the silver medal at Tokyo.
We see Canada back to a full complement of players as Quinn comes back onto the field after a potential.
As Kerr dummying it intelligently, but Crummer was just not quick enough.
After a potential game-saving tackle there, and just need a bit of quality from the Matildas here. You can see Sam Kerr's left it, right idea. Sheridan right on top of it.
Grant runs the ball down, prevents it from going out of play. She needs to get the Matildas going forward with Crummer. Look at the running, though, of those red shirts everywhere. Long towards Kerr. It's over both of them. Gilnick from a long way out. Well, it would have been just about goal of the century if she'd scored from there, fully 30 metres out from goal. Well, they're the walking wounded Canada at the moment. Quinn limping in midfield. Carl limping up in the front line. Wheeler. Polkinghorne wide for Gorry. She's still full of running for the Matildas. Gorry, can she get back on her feet? She can, but it's another free kick. The foul by Becky. And Gorry's taken a knock there. Yellow card, I think, for Janine Becky. That's real dead leg territory for Katrina Gorry there. She'll be feeling that one tomorrow. Now Courtney Nevin, set piece specialist with that left foot. Katrina Gorry, can she get back on the pitch for these last minutes?
We need her height in the midfield there. Just some quality on this delivery here.
Kerr busying herself in the middle, the ball in. Oh, was that a hand? It looked like a hand from Quinn. Back in. And cleared by Lacasse. Nevin again. Closed down by Chloe Lacasse. And then Grant just keeps it alive with Wheeler. Gorry trying to rejoin. The glancing header for Crummer. Back out with Kyra Cooney-Cross. The ball in towards Kerr. Glancing header. And it's claimed again by Sheridan. One of the heroes for Canada. Yet again, Kaylin Sheridan. Another was the young defender at the back, Jade Rose. But there on your screen is the woman that did the damage in Brisbane and then again tonight in Sydney. Adriana Leon with 3 goals for Canada in these 2 games. And it's the Olympic champions, the North American Giants, who confirm their credentials ahead of next year's World Cup. And just highlight again the amount of work still to be done for the Matildas, who were excellent in that opening 45 minutes, with Mary Fowler opening the scoring just 3 minutes in before that second half double from Leon turned the tables It's finished here at Allianz Stadium. Matildas 1, Canada 2.
Well, it wasn't the result that the Matildas were looking for here tonight at Allianz Stadium. A historical night. The first football team to set foot on this very pitch. Over 26,000 fans crammed in to watch the action. It was definitely a 95 minutes or so, Andy Harper and Grace Gill, of two very contrasting halves of football. So much promise in the first, Andy Harper. In the second, you could see how stretched the game got. And then that final 10-minute stanza, the Matildas pushing and never letting go and never giving up for an equaliser. What did we learn tonight?
Well, I think the fans would have had a great night. Wonderful stadium, very strong contest. Great sport, actually. To be completely neutral, it was great sport. But I look at the two teams coming into this two-game series. Who goes home learning plenty and who goes home not learning as much as we thought? And I've got to say, Canada have come here with a depleted squad. They've learned to travel. They've learned to come back from a non-dominant position tonight to completely boss the second half. They learned that they can fight. They learned that they can bring debutantes in. They learned that they can bring kids still at university. Rose at the back was outstanding. Canada will get on the plane and think, that was two fantastic outings. We had one good half.
Yeah, look, I think the first half had a lot of promise. Disappointing second 45 minutes for the Matildas. That sustained pressure. This early bit of play from the Matildas, really lively and really promising, and it set the scene for what could have been a great 90 minutes. We spoke about their defensive shape. We spoke about their sustained pressure throughout that first 45 minutes. But Harps, a couple of the names you've just mentioned there in the Canadian women's national team set apart that second half. Jade Rose at the back, 19 years old, and she had Sam Kerr to manage tonight, and what a job she did. One of the best strikers in the world, and she completely quieted her down. St. George's at the back. These young players coming in for Canada certainly stepped up, and the Matildas, it felt as though they ran out of legs, they ran out of energy in that second 45 minutes, and there was some discipline. Leon, again, the difference for Canada, not just tonight, but also in Brisbane. She's made a huge impact for this women's team and stepped up and put goals away in obviously really key moments.
Yeah, well, 3 goals in 2 games. She's just put a name in lights, and I mean, just got to send the stewards in. We have to send the stewards in here. What happened at half-time? From the fans' viewpoint, who were just so excited by that first half performance of their national team, of our national team. And Chloe Lagazzo spoke with Neve at the end of half and during the break, and you know, that's how we want to play. We want to boss teams in their half of the field, and she summed it up beautifully, and everyone was electric. And the second half could not have been more opposite. It couldn't have been more opposite.
And you'd arguably say Canada's not the kind of team that normally pulls the strings in a game. They're normally a very defensively minded team. They set up in a defensive block. Tonight, we saw a Canada play in football. We saw a Canada connecting passes, picking apart the Matildas and making it look like really easy work.
Yeah, well, so the questions have to be, why the collapse? Apart from the frenetic last 10 minutes, which was very exciting, and the Matildas could have got a goal, but they were walking wounded, Canada. This is not to qualify what I've just said, but it's a fact. You know, they had a wounded soldier just holding the front line. The Matildas were coming home strong, plenty of passion, plenty of grit. We've got to salvage something here. The girls didn't need being told. They had another great crowd. Look at Kyra Cooney-Cross's face. She doesn't need to be told what's happened here. This is really disappointing from our national team in the second half, that the team just collapsed so obviously in that second half, couldn't hold the ball. As soon as Canada turned the dial, and they were a bit stretched in the first half, Canada dropped too deep, the field was too open, we forced the issue, we looked great. As soon as they turned the dial in the second half, they pushed up into our half, they squeezed them, we couldn't pass, we couldn't move, we couldn't get out of the game. It was just a total collapse playing at home.